you can see the coax here is hotter by a degree or so than everything else. I am excited to go on a journey with you with the Mini 2 V2, which is a thermal imager. And this is the link to the product itself. It's a little dongly thing that clips to the bottom of your phone, and that link here I will put in the description. I got this as free. It's a gift, all right? Because, well, I'm not sponsored. But if someone's got an interesting product, I'll say, okay, I'll have a look at it. All right, it might be my thing, it might not be. If it's not, I'll send it back. But what I'm thinking is we can possibly put this on an antenna, assuming the RF doesn't blow it up. A nice little thank you note. Wendy wants a little thank you note for our product, so we're designing one at the moment. User guide. We're not going to need the user guide because, one, I can't read that, right? It's just too small for me. And two, it'll be online, so that's fine. Ooh, comes in a little case thing, look. I'm genuinely quite excited. Yesterday I filmed a CB, not a review, just kind of first impressions. I was excited about that as I am this, actually. Oh my gosh, it's small. Look at it. It's fantastic. So we get some little toys. That is like an extension for if you've got a deep case, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so that's fine. You can also take this and extend it. You know, it's got a picture of it here. 60 centimetre, 2 foot, isn't it? I don't know why I was expecting it to be bigger. Oh, it's fantastic. Look at this. It's got a bit of weight. Has it got the peeling feeling on it? I don't know. We better read the manual, I guess. Even though I said I wasn't going to. I mean, we'll plug it straight into the phone. We have a phone case here, which I'll take off. So, this phone case is falling apart. I'll put my phone on. Okay. I've no idea what's going to happen, but I assume we need an app. Yeah, we need the viewer. So let's do that. Okay, I think we've got a bit of a waste of time here. I'll just look it up. I want the HIC Micro. I think that's it there. We'll install that. See what happens. Open. Agree. Well, this looks like it. Skip. Allow access. While using the app, yeah, sure. Always when camera is connected. It's a bit like my DJI Fly. Oh my goodness. Auto calibration. I'm looking at a picture of me. Hello. It's really funny. You see me there, look. So presumably I can swap this around. Oh, I'm recording now. Oh, amazing. So, in fact, it's off the front. Ah, silly me. You know, it's a bit like Carl putting his tent in inside out. So, I don't like doing this. Let's come out of here and turn that over. Whoops. And then, sort of planet are we on? There we are, loading. Calibrating. Okay. Right, so we can take a video. Oh no, that was camera. Here we are. That is my drum kit there. Then we've got, let's have a look at my equipment. It'll be quite funny. Oh, so that's the TS990. Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh, look. The Behringer thing's quite hot. That's the side of the 9700. So I'm a little bit confused. When you've got the red dot, you're not recording, and when you've got the red dot off, I'm noticing on the top here, we are recording. All right, so then I've gradually worked out how this thing actually works. I don't know where the images are being saved to, but we will work on that. And the next time you see me, we'll be out in the field and we'll squirt some RF at the bottom of an antenna just to see the temperature differences. Okay. All right, so we were rudely interrupted by the storm, which interrupted this whole thermal imaging thing. I did put 100 watts FM on 10 meters, and to be honest, it didn't melt anything. It looked like we had a hotspot somewhere. It was inconclusive. Basically, nothing to write home about. It looks pretty boring. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1,000 watts at the feed point on about 28.7 megahertz, because there's a great tune there on the one hand and there's no one there on the other, even though it is the ARRL 10 meter contest. Sorry, Django's just sort of woken up, wants to play with the ball. I'd like to put a camera on the outbox where the coax comes to feed the whole field. So let's set the cameras up, run inside, and we'll play. So we've got that on there, and I've got my old what's it called, 60D as well, because the GoPro's run out of juice and I don't know where the batteries are. I'm ready to go. Make sure there's nobody here. Just drivel, and I'll hit the send button, and that's 1.2 kilowatts. It's nice just to be able to see on the screen, make sure I haven't got much smoke. All right, I'm not going to be able to see what happened till after we do all these tests, so I'll do them all and then we'll sit down and discuss it. How long have we been going? I'll give it a minute, say. I've got to say, this is pretty scary, to be honest. I don't know why. Alright, it's only 1200 watts, but it's still 1200 watts. The thing is, I can smell the amplifier heating up. Okay, that is definitely 1 minute at 1.2 Ks. So what I'd like to do, if that was on, and we will identify exactly which element that was. I think it's just to the left of the screen. I'm going to go to 80 meters now and just make sure there's nothing here. All quiet. I'll just tune the amp. I might have to back the power off. Let's go FM, put a carrier out. 1.2. 1. Tiny bit more power. And that started at 41. So we'll do tiny bit more power. So there will be slightly more power reaching the bottom of the antenna because there's less loss on 80 meter band. So it's less than a dB. So there will be 1000 watts for real hitting the bottom of that antenna there. Just watching the temperature display. There's a little bar graph. It says degrees C on the ACOM. Look. About 30 seconds to go. Alright, that's a minute. The amplifier's heating up nicely. Actually, before we go, let's try 21. See what we can pick up here. Alright, stand by for 1 minute. 15 meters, 1000 watts, 1.2. Okay, so that's 1,000 watts for a minute on 15. I've just been thinking we will do one more blast. It's getting on for 2 dB loss here. So if we go full power on 10 meter band, as much as the amp will do, I'll still be within my license conditions at the feed point. So let's blast that now. It's exactly on a minute's front. So that's 1.8 there. So we'll do, I don't know, what do we do? That's a hell of a lot of power, isn't it? 30 seconds. 1.8. Don't know what's going to melt first. 10 more seconds. Oh, give it a bit more. 40 seconds. All right, let's go back out and see. It's handy having a field camera, to be honest, because I could kind of detect there was no smoke, but oh God, it's scary. I'll open up the cabinet now. We'll move the cameras to the cabinet so we can have a look at the PL259. Well, this is actually already very interesting because you can see the coax here is hotter by a degree or so than everything else. So that was the transmit antenna, and that's my receive antenna, and so that's gone up by, well, that is minus 14 and that's plus 13, so it should recalibrate in a minute. Max temperature 13 centigrade. So that has gone up. I wonder if we can feel it. Didn't seem to be. All right, so, well, I mean, it's a shame actually because, I mean, it is cooling down. So, okay, let's go in and do that. So we can't see anything now, but we can blast it, can't we? You're in the wrong place. Okay, so 1.8 kilowatts, it'll be about 1200 at the end of that coax and about 1000 at the feed point, but let's do it. And we're doing it on 51, 52, 53. I want to get it right. We'll do 1 minute if we can, if I've got the balls. Ready now. I can't see anything now. All right, I'll see. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll go home. I'll get this footage. Go home. Do a rough edit, and then we'll do like a close off. And I'll give you my results and what I think. Okay. All right, that was a minute. Let's shut down, and I'll see you in a minute. First impressions of this device, by the way, is well, you need to appreciate that HIC Micro actually know what they're doing. They've got some amazing stuff and industrial stuff and everything. It worked first time out the box. The software didn't crash and so on. If you're a ham radio operator, then stick around. We'll do the analysis. If you've just been interested in what the HIC Micro Mini does, then you've seen that and you can go now. All right, so, well, it's the next day. I've done the edit and you've just been watching it. I'm going to play it through now with my comments. And also comments from Stu, G5, STU, excuse me, Rowley, ZL1BQD, and a few others, which we'll have a look at. So if I just start the playhead there and hit the go button, I'll be able to take you through it. So what I was quite surprised, I was genuinely expecting a little bit more action on 10 meters, but the 10 meter element is actually a 3/4 wave, I've just realized, not a quarter wave, which is one of the reasons I think we got at the base anyway, we only peaked at about 25 degrees centigrade, whereas on the 15 metre band we went up to 30, 35 degrees centigrade. Our 80 metre didn't have as much pounds per square inch, if you know what I mean. There's less energy per that much of wire, which is why in a microwave you can cook a meal, but you can't. More difficult to do it on 80 metres. Couple of observations. The plate didn't seem to heat up, the driven plate. The pigtail on the SO239, nothing much to write home about. It doesn't melt even at 1.8 kilowatts. And the PL259 didn't get particularly hot either. So not much to write home about when it comes to 80 metres. The inside of the pole looks like it's getting hot. I suspect it's not. I don't know what's happening there. The whole pole, in fact, looks, because it's black, absorbs any heat that's going around. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it? And by the way, while I'm just playing this footage through and reminding myself what happened, what other experiments should we do? I mean, I'm thinking a quarter wave at, say, 6 metres. Well, I haven't got 1,000 watts on 6. But we could do a 10 metre and bring the camera away a little bit. Rowley wants to see what's happening at the very end. Is there any corona going on? Is the very end getting hot? What about a dipole? Should we put some RG58 on a dipole? Your experiment thoughts are appreciated. So this is 15, and if you watch the temperature, it goes up and up and up. Look, when we went right up to 1.8 kilowatts, I was expecting genuinely more action. But if you look at the pigtail coming out the back of the SO239, I mean, it gets warm, but it's only getting up to 22, 23 degrees centigrade. The air temperature is about 5 on the day. But you can see all the other elements, because they're absorbing some sun and radiation, they're not actually that cold. What is cold is the aluminium plates. So this experiment I found interesting, and I think what we need to do is put a short section of RG58 with a couple of SO239 bullets, just to see the difference between RG58 and that really heavy coax, which is EcoFlex 15, very similar to Hyperflex 13 from Messi and Bologna. And the colours, by the way, makes it look as if it's a lot hotter than it really is. You have to look at the scale down the side. In this bit I'm looking at here, maximum temperature is 9 degrees centigrade. Background temperature was about 5 or 6 degrees. There's only 4 degrees different. But most of the coax is all the wires are a little bit warmer there. And the transmit antenna is only marginally higher than the rest. Now, it's interesting. I can't remember what this goes up to. So that EcoFlex 15 rose from about 9 degrees centigrade up to 16. So it went up by 7 degrees centigrade at 1.8 kilowatts. Interesting, isn't it? All right, so what I need from you is, what do we do next? Okay. Rowley came up with some ideas. Stuart thought that I bet you could fry an egg on an end-fed half wave with a 49-1 on 10 metres. So, yeah, maybe. We'll give that a go sometime. See how much an end-fed transformer heats up with a bit of oomph in it. Mike said it's interesting to see that the pigtail remains constant, as does the outside of the driven plate. To be honest, all looks good. These are private messages to me, you know. And then got a big one from Rowley. All right, so number 1, please measure the input impedance at the feed point for each band. Now, what he's going on about is the difference between 10 and 15, but I've got a funny feeling that's more to do with the 3/4 element. So if we could lift the camera up with a little sort of drone or something, that would, I don't know if my drone's capable of doing that, but it'd be quite interesting to get either a wider angle so we can see what's going on with the 3/4 element, or see what's going on at the top. And also, well, number 2, he says he wants to see what the tip's doing. You know, is there any corona effect and so on. And we have a coil at about 65%, 70% up a 12.4. Quite a deep coil to tune it for both 30 metres and 80 metres. And in fairness, he's got a point there. On 30 metres, are we getting RF coming off the top as well? All right, so we might be able to detect that. So we'll do some experiments and see if I can get my drone to lift the lightest. We've got a couple of old phones at the works, and see if the drone will lift it up, even for 12, 15 seconds. That could be fun. This is just a throwaway to remind me to explain about radials, because Rolly and I were talking about that. And it says that's how some of the older AM transmitters are tuned, Cal, by measuring the return currents on the radials. So, man, my radials are probably an inch or 25 mil or so under the grass, and I don't think I'll be able to see anything. But Rolly was saying, what's the difference between tuned radials, in other words, radials lying on the ground that are exactly the right size at a quarter of a wavelength, less velocity factor, and non-tuned, in other words, just sort of random lengths. There are a lot of experiments to do, and I don't know if I want to get that deep into it, but if you've got a very, very specific idea that is not too difficult for me to film, then I'd be interested in your point of view. But as I said, they do outdoor stuff, they've got industrial stuff. I didn't realise, actually, when I was doing this video, that Hick Micro know what they're doing. I can't remember the price. There's a few sellers. It's about £250. Would I buy it? Actually, I would. And that's a hell of a test. That's the sort of thing I could find absolutely fascinating. It's the sort of thing I'd put on my Christmas list. So if you're stuck for something for Christmas, here we are. Mini 2 V2. Link in description to buy. I have no skin in the game. It is not an affiliate link. There we go. That's Hick Micro. Thank you very much for my gift. All right, so I got one for Christmas. All right. Interested in your thoughts, please let me know. In the meantime, have a great day. Enjoy your radio. And let me know if you get one of these. It'd be fascinating. And what experiments you get up to. All right? In the meantime, all the best. Bye for now.